if you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns were dealt a devastating blow this week as young star cornerback Martin Emerson Jr. suffered a torn left Achilles during a routine 7-on-7 drill in training camp. The non-contact injury, which occurred on Tuesday, sent immediate shockwaves through the Browns facility, halting practice and drawing concern from both teammates and coaches. Emerson was carted off the field, and on Wednesday, head coach Kevin Stefanski confirmed the worst. Emerson will undergo surgery and miss the entire 2025 NFL season. For a team with playoff aspirations and a defense that ranked among the league's best last season, this is a seismic loss. Emerson had been developing into one of the most reliable and physical corners in the league, providing consistent production and lockdown coverage on the boundary. His absence now forces the Browns into a scramble to fill the void, both from a roster standpoint and a leadership one. As camp continues to unfold, Martin Emerson Jr., just 24 years old, was entering the final year of his rookie contract and was poised for a breakout season. After a strong 2024 campaign that saw him post 80 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in 17 games, 15 of which he started, Emerson was building real momentum as a rising defensive star. His career totals already stand at 202 tackles and 4 interceptions in just 50 career games, showcasing his impact in both pass coverage and run support. Since being drafted in the third round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of Mississippi State, Emerson had quietly but steadily emerged as a foundational piece of Cleveland's secondary. Losing a player of his caliber, especially one who was entering what many believed would be a contract-defining year, is not only a setback for the team, but a personal blow for a player who had worked tirelessly to become an integral part of the Browns' identity on defense. Head coach Kevin Stefanski addressed reporters on Wednesday with a mix of disappointment and resolve, stating that injuries like these are the hardest part of the game. Disappointed, obviously. Injuries are the worst part about our game, Stefanski said, but he will bounce back. I know what he is made of, and he's got our support and his teammates' support. His comments underscored the emotional toll such a loss takes, not just on the injured player, but on the entire locker room. Emerson was more than just a contributor on the field. He had become a voice in the locker room, a player others looked to for energy, toughness, and confidence. Stefanski made it clear that despite Emerson's upcoming absence from the field, his presence would still be felt throughout the organization. That type of leadership can't be taught, and the Browns will need every ounce of it as they prepare for a 2025 season now clouded with uncertainty. What's especially painful about this injury is the nature in which it occurred, non-contact. Emerson went down during a 7-on-7 drill, which is typically low risk in terms of physical collisions. This type of injury, a torn Achilles, often happens suddenly and without warning, which makes it even more jarring for players and coaches alike. Achilles injuries are notoriously difficult to recover from, often requiring months of rehab and leaving athletes with questions about their explosiveness and mobility upon return. For a cornerback like Emerson, whose game is predicated on sharp cuts, lateral quickness, and foot speed, it's a daunting recovery process. The Browns' medical and training staff will now turn their focus to helping him through that long road back. But there's no denying that his season is over before it even began. This was supposed to be a year of validation for Emerson. Instead, it becomes one of reflection, patience, and perseverance. The timing couldn't be worse for the Browns, who are already working through depth questions in their secondary. With training camp in full swing and preseason games approaching, Cleveland will now have to evaluate their remaining cornerback options and possibly explore the free agent market or a trade. Players like Greg Newsome II and Denzel Ward will now be expected to shoulder an even greater load, while younger or less proven corners will get extended reps in camp. Emerson's injury leaves not just a talent gap, but also a mental one. He was known for his preparation and competitive edge, which helped raise the performance of those around him. The coaching staff will need to adjust their schemes, personnel, groupings, and coverage strategies to account for his absence. This is where team depth, coaching creativity, and locker room resilience will be tested in a major way, heading into a crucial year. Emerson's injury also reignites the conversation around player health and safety in the NFL, especially in off-season and training camp environments. Non-contact injuries remain among the most feared occurrences, often sparking questions about field conditions, warm-up protocols, or even broader concerns about overtraining. Though nothing unusual has been reported from Browns camp, incidents like this are stark reminders of the physical toll football takes, even outside of game day collisions. These athletes put their bodies on the line year-round, and for someone like Emerson, who was entering a contract year, the stakes are even higher. This setback could have implications for his future earnings and his career trajectory, depending on how well he recovers. It's a cruel twist in a league where timing is everything and opportunities can vanish in the blink of an eye. Yet, those who know Emerson describe him as relentless, disciplined, and mentally tough, all qualities he'll need in abundance. In the immediate aftermath of the injury, Stefanski made it a point to connect with Emerson directly, knowing how crushing this news would be. He's hurting, the coach said. These guys put so much into this game, physically, mentally, emotionally, and I don't want to see any of our players ever in that position. Stefanski's words captured not only the personal pain of the injury, but the communal weight it carries. The emotional bond between player and coach, between teammates, is forged through countless hours of sweat, grind, and sacrifice. Emerson's injury isn't just about missing a player on the field, it's about watching a friend and teammate suffer. That human element often gets lost in the fast-moving world of professional football, where next man up mentalities dominate. Headlines, but make no mistake, this one hurts the Browns deeply, and it will leave a mark on their season no matter how well they regroup and push forward. From a team-building perspective, the Browns must now walk a fine line between supporting their injured teammate and aggressively addressing the new hole in their lineup. Emerson was penciled in as a starting corner, and now that role is up for grabs. General Manager Andrew Berry and the front office will have to weigh internal development versus external acquisition. Do they trust the next man up, or do they go hunting for a veteran with starting experience to stabilize the group? There are no easy answers. Chemistry, playbook familiarity, and cap considerations all come into play. At the same time, the emotional lift of adding a proven player can't be understated. A team with Super Bowl ambitions can't afford to sit still when one of its best young defenders goes down. The decisions made in the next few weeks will not only shape the Browns' defense in 2025, but could very well determine whether or not they remain contenders in a stacked AFC. As for Emerson's future, the road ahead is uncertain, but not without hope. Achilles injuries, while serious, are no longer the career enders they once were. Medical advancement, surgical precision, and tailored rehab protocols have brought many athletes back to full strength, and in some cases, better than ever. Emerson has always been praised for his work ethic and mental toughness, and those qualities will now become his most valuable assets off the field. The Browns, for their part, have already made it clear that he'll be surrounded by support from coaches, teammates, trainers, and staff. That kind of backing can't erase the pain or frustration, but it can make the journey a little less lonely. And knowing the way NFL stories unfold, don't be surprised if Emerson returns next year with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. Sometimes the toughest setbacks lead to the most powerful comebacks, and Emerson just might be writing his next chapter already. Ultimately, the loss of Martin Emerson Jr. is a gut punch for the Browns and a sobering reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in the NFL. One moment you're gearing up for a season with high hopes and a stacked roster, and the next you're processing the loss of a key contributor before the first preseason snap. It's cruel, it's unpredictable, and it's the harsh reality of professional football. Yet out of this adversity, teams often discover something deeper: resilience, unity, and unexpected heroes rising to the occasion. The Browns will need all of that and more as they move forward without Emerson. His journey, now interrupted, will continue in the shadows of rehab facilities and recovery sessions rather than stadium lights, at least for now. But one thing's certain: Martin Emerson Jr. is still a Brown, still a leader, and still a force to be reckoned with, even from the sidelines. His season may be over, but his impact is far from finished. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Tom Brady, the legendary quarterback often regarded as the greatest to ever play the game, is once again at the center of swirling NFL rumors. After announcing his second retirement and assuring fans it was for good, speculation has erupted over a shocking twist. Brady could be contemplating a dramatic return, not just to any team, but to the Cleveland Browns. That's right, the franchise long associated with struggle and heartbreak might be on the verge of one of the most stunning coups in football history. According to whispers from insiders and cryptic social media movements, Brady has been spotted in close proximity to the Browns facilities, fueling theories that the GOAT might lace up his cleats one more time. While nothing has been confirmed, the buzz is deafening. Could Brady really trade his beachside retirement for the shores of Lake Erie? The NFL world is holding its breath, wondering if another chapter in Brady's storied career is about to be written. Let's be honest, if there's one player capable of flipping a franchise's narrative overnight, it's Tom Brady. Cleveland has talent, a passionate fan base, and a defense that turned heads last season. But what they've lacked is consistency and leadership at quarterback, especially with Deshaun Watson's future still uncertain. Enter the GOAT. Brady's alleged interest has Browns fans dreaming again, and some believe this isn't just idle gossip. Reports suggest that Brady has remained in top shape post-retirement, continuing a rigorous training regimen that could allow him to return to the league at any moment. In private circles, whispers indicate he's itching for one last challenge. One that would cement his legacy not just as the most accomplished quarterback, but as the ultimate football savior. The Browns are reportedly exploring all possibilities, and while their front office remains silent, the silence itself feels deafening. Could Brady be the final piece in Cleveland's elusive Super Bowl puzzle? It's the kind of storyline Hollywood would reject for being too unrealistic. The greatest quarterback of all time unretires to join one of the most star-crossed franchises in NFL history. But the elements are there. Brady loves proving people wrong. He's thrived under pressure and in underdog roles throughout his career, from being a 6th-round draft pick to becoming a 7-time Super Bowl champion. What better way to put the ultimate exclamation point on his resume than by doing what no one ever has? Bringing a Lombardi trophy to Cleveland. Analysts have already begun dissecting what a Brady-Browns marriage would look like, with Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb, assuming he returns healthy on a stacked defense. This roster isn't far from contention. Pair that with Brady's experience, football IQ, and unmatched postseason poise, and suddenly Cleveland doesn't just look competitive, it looks dangerous. And for Brady, danger has always been an invitation, not a deterrent. Sources close to Brady reportedly say he's had conversations with key personnel in the Browns organization. While no official meetings have been confirmed, the NFL rumor mill has rarely been louder. Anonymous executives across the league have acknowledged hearing about a massive development brewing in Cleveland without naming names. Of course, it's all speculative at this point, but even the possibility has turned sports media upside down. Some pundits have gone as far as to say that Brady returning for Cleveland would be a bigger story than his Patriots dynasty. It's wild, sure, but this is Brady we're talking about. He's conquered nearly every challenge the NFL has thrown at him. This one, the ultimate fixer-upper job, might be the most poetic ending to a storybook career. Or perhaps it's just smoke. But in today's NFL, smoke almost always leads to fire, especially when Tom Brady's name is involved. What's perhaps even more intriguing is how Cleveland fans have responded to the buzz. Social media erupted when the rumors started to gain traction. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, every platform lit up with mock-ups of Brady in a Browns jersey, fan theories about his potential impact, and even speculation on what number he might wear. Browns Nation, a group that has seen more heartbreak than triumph, is cautiously hopeful. For many, the idea of Brady joining their team feels surreal, like some football fever dream, but others believe it makes perfect sense. They argue that Cleveland offers something Brady might want, a chance to be the unquestioned hero, the final piece in a team's long overdue redemption arc. It's not about money. Brady has plenty. It's about legacy, impact, and writing a final chapter so shocking it echoes for generations. And as far-fetched as it sounds, the more you think about it, the more it starts to feel possible. The timing couldn't be more interesting. With the NFL preseason approaching, teams are finalizing rosters and settling into their depth charts. Cleveland, however, has remained oddly quiet. There's been less media access, fewer interviews, and a notable hush around the quarterback position. Deshaun Watson has yet to fully regain the trust of the fan base, and internal sources suggest there may be contingency plans in motion. Brady wouldn't need to play a full 17-game season. He could manage his workload, mentor the younger guys, and simply turn it on in the postseason. Think of it as Brady's version of load management, and let's not forget his existing business ties in sports ownership and media. He knows how to control a narrative. If he does return, it will be on his terms, with every detail carefully orchestrated. And what better stage for such a return than the unpredictable, passionate, and story-hungry city of Cleveland? Then there's the matter of Tom Brady's post-retirement ventures and how they could tie into this potential comeback. He's already secured roles in broadcasting and ownership with multiple sports entities, including the Las Vegas Raiders. But according to insiders, none of these ventures prohibit a short-term return to the NFL. In fact, some say Brady has clauses in place that would allow him to walk away from media commitments temporarily if he decides to unretire again. Could that have been intentional? Could Brady have left just enough wiggle room in his contracts for one last hurrah? It wouldn't be the first time he's played the long game. When asked recently about whether he was 100% done, Brady gave a cryptic smile and said, "I'm good. For now." For now, that's all fans and media needed to hear. In the world of Tom Brady, for now has become code for stay tuned. And stay tuned we have. Every day, new breadcrumbs appear. Brady seen boarding a private jet headed toward Ohio. Browns offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt spotted in Florida. Cryptic Instagram stories from players using goat emojis. Even former Patriots teammates have chimed in, hinting they wouldn't be surprised if Brady came back for one last run. This has gone well beyond idle chatter. The NFL offseason has always thrived on rumors, but this one feels different. It has legs, it has momentum, and most importantly, it has believers, players, coaches, fans, even rival executives who suspect something seismic might be happening. Could this all implode in typical internet fashion? Absolutely. But if there's one person capable of pulling off the impossible and keeping it airtight until the perfect moment, it's Tom Brady. Well, this story isn't just intriguing, it's downright electric. Every angle, every whisper adds to the drama. Meanwhile, Vegas odds makers have started adjusting future bets, with some sports books now placing the Browns among the top contenders to win the AFC, despite no official roster change. Coincidence? Possibly. But insiders say these shifts often follow information leaks long before the public hears anything. And let's not overlook Brady's well-documented love for historic legacies. Bringing a title to Cleveland would be more than just another win. It would be transformative. The city has waited decades for a football resurrection, and Brady, ever the narrative-driven icon, could view this as the ultimate test, the ultimate gift, the ultimate mic drop. No one saw his return to the Buccaneers coming either. And that ended with a Super Bowl. The similarities are eerie. A loaded but underachieving roster, a coach who needs a quarterback, a fan base desperate for salvation. The pieces are there. All that's missing is Brady, and maybe, just maybe, that's about to change. In the end, whether Tom Brady returns or not, the very possibility is enough to reignite passion in Cleveland and captivate the entire NFL. It reminds us of the sheer gravitational pull of his name, his aura, his mystique. He's more than a player. He's a phenomenon. And as the 2025 season creeps closer, fans will be watching every signal, every rumor, every camera shot for clues. Could this be the greatest plot twist in NFL history? Could the GOAT choose Cleveland as the final battleground in his war against time, doubt, and history? It sounds crazy, but crazy has never stopped Tom Brady before. If anything, it's where he thrives. And until he gives a definitive no, the football world will continue to buzz with possibility. The Browns might just be one phone call away from immortality. And if that call comes from Tom Brady, we may all be witnessing the start of something truly legendary. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!